It takes a lot, doesn't it, for people to put their neck on the line in this game. Hello and welcome to GG Weekend Watch, and Happy New Year to everyone as well. Hopefully we will find you just as many, if not more, winners in 2025. That task is going to be of the lads, Dave Young and Andrew Mount. Some things never change, and these two are still about to find you the winners. My name is Kate Tracey. I'm in the hosting seat as per usual. Now this week we're going to be looking ahead to Sandown and Wincanton. But before we get into this weekend's action proper, a chance to look back at our last proper weekend winners preview, because Weekend Watch, I'm getting my shows confused now. Everything that begins with WW, it just all blends into one for me. I don't know how I don't make that mistake more so. Weekend Watch, this one is. Because in that last proper one, Andrew kicked off the ITV coverage with Holloway Queen, winning at 4-5 at Haydock. He put up another winner there with Mildown when he took the 240, and Dave's well-backed Bertie's Ballet beat him into second in that. Now, both lads were in agreement with Victorino in the Silver Cup, who was sent off at 5-2. That was Andrew's nap. Then in the lucky last Premier 2-mile handicap hurdle, Dave spent plenty of time justifying why he expected Fiercely Proud to go well, and he got the job done at 12-1. So very well done for that, Dave. And also a big thank you to everyone who watched our festive preview too. That was our most viewed video on the channel. Now, as mentioned, we did record before final declarations, but still Andrew gave Croke Park and Home by the Lee as winners, with both Ile Francais and I Will Do It very close seconds in the King George and the Welsh Grand National, respectively. So very well done, lads, for a probably, hopefully, festive period, and we can use those winnings to roll into the new year. Right, we're going to begin at Wincanton with the 133. Again, ITV have tried to scupper us a little bit with a fair bout of moving about with the scheduling, but the 133 at Wincanton has now been added, 0 to 130 handicap chase. Andrew's looking very confused at me if it has been. 5 rows and over 3 mile 1. Dave, please tell me this is still on the agenda.
No, I think it was on, but it's gone off.
They moved it back again. Yeah. Okay, right. Scrap that. Honestly, I swear ITV watch this show and think they can scupper this. They can scupper their schedules just to mess with me. Right, forget that. Wincanton can keep their 0 to 130. We're going to begin at Sandown.
But if you do play in that race, beware, because you've got a 5-4 favourite ridden by David Maxwell. And although he won at Thornton last time, this is indoor. I think just stick all 4 of your plays pot and pray.
And pray for that. Right, the 150 at Sandown then. Hopefully we'll have more options to go out in this. 0 to 145 handicap chase, 5 rows and over 2 mile 4. Right, hopefully, Dave, this one stands the test, and we do get this one to go at.
Yeah, fingers crossed. So it's obviously soft at Sandown at the moment. I say obviously, they're reporting it as soft. Dry forecast up until Saturday. There's a bit of rain about, maybe a bit of snow, but it's not going to get any softer, I wouldn't imagine, although it could potentially ride a little bit tacky. Fingers crossed everything's going to be on, because it obviously has gone to a bit of a cold snap, but we'll all be fine. The first race, that Wincanton race, I spent ages looking at it as well, and it was a trappy affair. Probably wouldn't have had a bet in there. This race here started to look just as tricky, I think, because there's quite a few horses in here that you kind of want to forgive and give a bit of a chance to, which I'll come on to for my selection in a moment. And then there's a couple of horses that are coming in here where you just question, are they really on the upgrade, or are they going to get found out now? And of course, we'll find out on Saturday when it happens. So Hunter Legends won for Venetia Williams. 7-day turnaround for this horse, and I wasn't sure. I mean, I feel like Venetia, if she does this, it's got to be a positive. I wasn't sure if it was a good thing or a bad thing. Quickly looked up at some frenzy bits, and it looks like she does it fairly often, and it doesn't really make a lot of money if you just backed everything. If you backed out last time winners that then turn around in 7 days, then it makes a small profit, like literally 1%. If you backed horses that ran in the last 7 days that ran over the same trip next time out, so quite niche, there was 5 winners from 14 runners. That's a 12% return on investment. So look, I've said all of that stuff. I was trying to think, do they think that Hunter Legend's absolutely thrown in? Because the 7-2 about that one just doesn't really do it for me. Was a good winner at Leicester, but I remember at the start of the season when this horse ran Aintree, that was behind Imperial Saint and was miles out the back. Ground was probably a problem for it that day, and with me saying about the dry and forecast, I don't think Hunter Legend's going to get his ideal condition. So I'm against the favourite, because it is a bit of a trappy affair. I even feel bad saying this, because tipping up Brave Man's Game, I know I'm going to get pelters, but I feel like I might get even more for saying that I think Etalon is worth giving a bit of a chance here. He does look a shadow of his former self in a few runs this season. The last run at Cheltenham actually got an RPR of 132. So in relative terms, he's officially rated 135. So near where his rating is. He was beaten 18 lengths by Liberty Hunter, and he didn't really do anything other than stay on a little bit at the end when potentially other horses had run their race, they were tired, etc. They are now stepping him back up to 2 miles 4. They did this a while back with a tongue tie, I think it was, behind Crambo, who we know he's a well-handicapped horse. That was at this track. They'd run him over 2 miles 3, I think, on like a novice hurdle at the start of his career before they got him handicapped well to go and win at 2 miles. So this is either by design by the Skeltons, because Harry Skelton's just keeps riding this horse. It's not like it's a niche thing that he's now come back on. It's either by design that they're thinking, oh, we'll wait and we'll get him up in trip, or they're just trying stuff out. But I think that he's not as keen as he has been in the past, which is why I think their hand was forced to stay over 2 miles. He looked all right last time. I think in this type of race, it's a 0 to 145. But if you take his stablemate Unexpected Party out, it's a 0 to 135. This will certainly be the easiest assignment he's faced in a long time. If he isn't keen and he gets off on the front, I think Etalon's got a chance, but he's probably priced accordingly at 4 to 1. My other concern with him is in terms of like a betting perspective, horses like Jupiter De Guita are in here that are dropping back in trip, and he ran well last time, but I'm worried that Etalon wouldn't get things his own way up front. 2 runs ago at Newbury, he was off the front and he just petered out and ran pants. So it's very tentative, but I would like to think that Etalon could do this, but it's probably more conspiracy theory than anything.
Conspiracy theory, when all else fails, conspiracy theories to the 4. Etalon, a 4 to 1 chance for Dan Skelton and Harry Skelton in the plate, because of course they do have Unexpected Party in here as well, but Tristan Durrell rides the other Skelton runner in here at 12 to 1. Andrew, who'd you like?
Yeah, certainly won't put you off. Etalon got his ground for the first time this season. He's been well punted since the betting opened up. He's 4 wins, a third and a fourth from 6 runs, unofficially soft or heavy going. Sandown are calling it soft, good to soft in places, but showers are forecasting it's Sandown, so it's about a 94% chance that it will be softer than the official verdict anyway. The distance is the obvious concern. He's only had 2 runs at this sort of trip. A second over 2-3 at Warwick when he was keen over hurdles, and a fourth of 16 behind Crambo in the EBF final. That form's obviously solid, and he was staying on again at the death. It's his first chase run over 2.5. You'd give him a good chance, but his price is probably covered in odds around about 4 to 1 now. Hunter Legend is another one who needs it soft or heavy. Won 3 of his last 4 under such conditions. Second in the other to No Tango. A super stick on his stable debut for Harry Derham, so that was fair enough. The one I'm more interested in, though, is Roccovango. Down in trip after winning over Utoxeter last time out, jumped out to his right there, as he had done when second by a nose at Warwick of this trip on his penultimate start. Since the cheek pieces went on, 5 runs, 4 wins and a nose second. Now, this is his first right-handed run since bolting up in a Huntington maiden hurdle in March. He's going to improve for going this way round again. So with Ollie Murphy and Sean Byrne in fantastic form still, I would go Roccovango over Etalon. A couple of the rats worth a mention. Unexpected Party likes it soft, not without hope. All the conspiracy theorists assume they're trying to get his handicap marked down for another crack at the Grand Daniel, which he won off 138 last year. He's on 145. He has been competitive off this mark over trips he didn't stay, behind Stage Star at Cheltenham a couple of times, over 2.5. So I don't think this mark is beyond him. Fabrisco was 66 to 1 when beaten on his stable debut for Harry Derham. Over fences for the first time since winning on his final start for Willie Mullins. And even Carbon King wouldn't have a chance despite bombing out last time. Typical Evan Williams, hard to predict. You sort of back him after he's finished out the back of the telly. He tend to run well. Back him following a win, he bombs out. So, yeah, funny race, but I'll go for Roccovango going right-handed again.
Roccovango over Etalon then for Andrew, 7 to 2, but it is a pretty trappy contest. 7 to 2 joint favourites between Roccovango and the Hunter Legend as it currently stands. Right, we've got to fill a bit of time now between their first 2 races, ITV, for the next at Sandown. This is the 225 listed mares hurdle, 4-year-olds and over 2 mile 4. Della Casa Lunga, 9 to 4 favourite in this one, Andrew. So who'd you like?
Yeah, funny old race. They all run off 11 stone 4, but their marks range from 120 for Good Luke Charm to 138 for Della Casa Lunga, the favourite. So she's sort of well in, compared to we're at handicap. The last 4 runs in mares only company, 3 wins and second from 4 starts. Improved for the Windop last time out. Could be more to come. Cut back from 3 miles is a slight concern, but given the how well in she is at the weights and given her current form, I think she's got an excellent chance. Aston Martini, 3 from 3 in mares company below grade 2 level, but again, she's second favourite, so you're not really saying anything out of this world. And of the others, Georgie Girl was interesting one at the slightly bigger price, only slightly though. Like small fields, I think that's more important to her than racing against her own sex. The last 3 runs in fields and 9 or fewer runners have produced wins. She caught the eye when winning from off the pace at Warwick. Never easy to do there, particularly in small fields. The runner-up and the third were up with the pace throughout. The 6-4 favourite was also ridden patiently in that race, and she that one bombed out in 4th. Fair 5th of 12 at Cheltenham last time out. Back in the small field. Georgie Girl, given the form of the Hobson White yard, I thought had a good chance. So I was sort of looking at Della, Casa, Lunga, but at the prices, instead of 9-4, I'll go for the 5-1 Georgie Girl.
Okay, go Georgie Girl then instead for, as you say, the informed Hobbs and White. Are they a detective agency? Are they selling houses? You know, who knows? But either way, though, estate agents or detective agency, Hobbs and White continue to go along in good style. Dave?
Yeah, good case there made for Georgie Girl by Andrew. Hobbs and White are definitely having a winner later in the card, so stay tuned for when I tip you that. Della Casa Lunga, though, I thought me and Andrew were going to be in agreement like a Victorino, because I think this is a fairly open and shut case. I know she's dropping back from 3 miles now, but there's half a chance. I know she was backed at Christmas as well, but I think there's half a chance that they were actually targeting this race with her in the first instance. She has won over 2 miles before when she won a novice hurdle back in Ireland. She started this season at Bangor in a handicap where she was a big price. Aston Martini was in there as well, but getting £15. She was like 5-1, I think, came second. So they finished miles apart. But just a few days later, I say a few, it was 12 days later, they ran her in that listed hurdle at Kempton where she was second to Katira when Katira was about £7 well in. So that looked pretty good. They've given her a wind up since then, and then they've run her in another handicap, and then it's another quick turnaround to go for a listed race. So she's proven that the turnaround can be fine. I'm trusting it will be. She's fresh pretty much from a wind up because it's still within the realms of being done recently. She was very impressive at Kempton. She quickened away nicely. She's half sister, isn't she, to Diva Luna, the one on New Year's Day. So the trip, I think, is just fine for her. She's just the best horse in the race on ratings as well. I think 9-4 about her seems an absolute gift. She's 9-4 top price of a couple of firms. She is 7-4 in most places. So who knows? Maybe by the time this goes out, she'll have shortened up. But I would say anything 6-4 or bigger at Della Casa Lunga would be a bet.
Okay, anything then. Do just watch those prices then for Della Casa Lunga and the recommendations from Dave.
Nice pronunciation from Dave there as well.
Say again.
Nice pronunciation.
Oh, well, I know, wasn't it? Just adding that extra bit of flair. I know it's got exotic over the festive period. Right, maybe you'll be able to pronounce something to that effect at Wincanton. Probably doubt it. But the 2:40 now as we head to Wincanton. The middle distance veterans handicap chase, 0-135. 10-year-olds and over 2 mile 4. Now, there are 3 horses in here who do just qualify for this with the 10-year-olds and over then after they've just turned, obviously, the right age bracket on the 1st of January. And one of those horses is Nocte Velatus, 5-2 favourite in this one, Dave.
Yeah, it's a bit of a trappy one, this, I think. It's 7 runners in there. And often with these veteran races, you get like your old friends coming back, don't you? Then I start to wonder a little bit, like you've said, that some have just turned 10, whether this is by design. Started to make a little bit of a case for Destin, and I'm thinking he's never been a horse that I don't think they've ever been able to sort of by design target him for something. Yeah. He's always been a horse that's hard to get right, but he is now £1 higher than when winning last December in first time blinkers. He went up and then won after, so he won off of a £1 higher mark after. Dropping back into Veterans Company now because of the fact he's just turned 10. The last few runs haven't had Harry Cobden on board. It does look like he's here with intent, doesn't it? I know it's the local track Wincanton, but I don't know. I think they want to try and get a win in him. His run last time, though, his action looked a little bit strange towards the end of it, and I wasn't convinced that he was anywhere near capable of winning a race. And then here we go, a few weeks later, he's in a Veterans Company, and all of a sudden I think he's a plot job. So I'm sort of lukewarm on Destin for the fact that I don't want to just have conspiracy theory bets all of this week. Nocte Velatus was, that's definitely not how to say it, but I've got the pronunciation right.
Oh, it's so short-lived, the pronunciations with flair, so short-lived.
The Tom Lacey horse has put up a couple of mid-130s RPRs this season, and at the back end of last season did a mid-135 as well. I'd claim and jockey on the whole entire time, but at least he's coming in here with decent form. The run last time at Ascot behind Gemarand, who obviously went and won a December Gold Cup, I'm not 100% sure how I judge that, because I think it's obviously good in the fact that that horse has come out and won a big handicap since. But I did think that Gemarand would have needed the run before it went to Cheltenham, and then when it went and won, it's kind of surprised me a little bit. So lukewarm on that. I can see why it's favourite. I'd say I think the winner probably comes between those two, like Nocta the Lotus, or that's definitely not it again, or Keldestad. I'll say number 2 and number 1. But their prices are both covered, so I don't think I could bring myself to say I'd prefer one over the other. I'd probably sit back and watch. The one I do want to mention, and then people can crop this and say you're an idiot, Dave, because I do this a couple of times this show. Stormy Flight was very good behind Lowry's Bar last time, and I thought Lowry's Bar, like a nice progressive horse, went and won at Chepstow over Christmas. The form of that looks like it's going to stand up. However, his form figures at Exeter read 2, 1, 1, 2, whereas at Wincanton he's been 6, 3, second unseated, third and second. And over this trip, he's been beaten 16 lengths, 25 lengths, and the unseated. So as much as the form might look like it's good, I don't think he likes it here. So anyway, I've talked enough to say I'm not having a bet.
Not gonna have a bet. Sorry, if you're wondering what I'm doing, I'm holding my phone stand because my cat is currently, there's a tail in vision, is currently rubbing her face off of it, so she keeps spinning it around. So no bet then in this one, but almost a lovely pronunciation of Nocta the Lotus, who is heading the way then at 5-2 in here. But yeah, tricky little contest for these now old boys, Andrew. So old boys of all of, well, what will be 4 days by the time of this race.
Yeah, I think this has had an impact on the field size for the Sandown Veterans Final as well, the 3 o'clock, which we'll come to shortly, because that's got the smallest field for years. Yeah, Nocta the Lotus, I'm still unsure about the Tom Lacey yard. They've had 1 or 2 winners recently, but every time you think, oh, they're going to fire now, and they've got a lot of well-handicapped horses in the yard, they're going to have a glut of winners, then you get some disappointing at short odds. So I can leave Nocta the Lotus alone. Stormy Flight, like with Dave, I think is best at Exeter, even though we're on another right-handed track here. Whether he can repeat that away from Exeter remains to be seen, especially given the likelihood of being taken on for the lead, as Dave was saying. Now, we've had 7 of these middle distance veterans races in the last couple of seasons, and 6 of them have been won by 10-year-olds. So I'm just going to go with that angle, and basically the 2 that I'm going to probably split stakes between, Destin and Red Rookie. Now, Destin tends to go well this time of year. 7 of the last year wins have come in December, January or February. I assume that as Nichols has kept him on the go, he hasn't given him a wind operation over the Christmas New Year, not wind operation, hasn't given him a flu jab over the Christmas New Year period. And the other one is Red Rookie, who tends to go well in his first start following the New Year. 5 seasons he's been racing, 3 wins, a 3rd and a 4th. So New Year's resolution is to try a bit harder and win a race, perhaps. And he's got a visor on for the first time. So yeah, I'll go Destin, Red Rookie, split stakes against Nocta the Lotus, but side with the 10-year-olds.
Yeah, go with the 10-year-olds, go with the younger horses eligible then for this race, for interesting ways to play it. Right, now talking of old boys, and as you've just mentioned there, Andrew, the fact that it may well have had an impact, having that middle distance veterans handicap chase on the Veterans Handicap Chase Series final, which comes at Sandown, always on this day every year. Comes at 3 o'clock this year. 10-year-olds and over 3 miles. And we talk about the young horse angle, obviously, because this is a series final. Horses have had to qualify to get into this, so they would have had to have qualified at the youngest as a 10-year-old. Those 10-year-olds have now turned 11 on the 1st of January, so we've got no 10-year-olds in this year. But Andrew, who did you side with?
Yeah, interesting on this. So last year it was run at Warwick when we lost this Sandown meeting. The 8 runnings in Sandown in the last 10 years, those horses who finished 1st or 2nd last time out, just 1 win from 38 runners. Horses who ran in Veterans Company last time are just 2 from 55. So usually the horses have qualified and then gone for perhaps a better race against younger rivals. That's why they're coming here on the back of a usually sort of beaten effort or an unplaced effort. Now there's a couple. Ones I wanted to be against. Empire Steel, who hasn't won away from Kelso since October 2020, and Copperhead and Eldorado Allen both ran in Veterans Company last time. So I'm coming back to my old friend Fortescue. I'll put up each way 4 places at Ascot last time, and he scraped 4th of 10 behind Beauport, beating 52 lengths. That was in a good race. And basically, he needs a field of 9 or fewer runners in his career. He's had that 17 times. He's finished in the first 4 in 16 of them, 7th in the other. That was over course and distance, but the ground was too quick. So you back him in fields of 9 or less, you'd have made £27.50 to £1 level stake. Henry Daly's been in fantastic form over the Christmas and New Year period, and he's got his ground. After running on good ground for the last 3 times, he's got the soft ground that he needs. He's got the small field he needs. He's a course and distance winner, and I'm going to back him and Smarty Wild, who needs to go right-handed. And he was pulled up on his return, again trained by the solicitors, estate agents, detective agency, Hobson Wise. Pulled up behind Cloudy Glen, even well back that day. That's on the 4th of December. But yeah, you look at his record. He must go this way round. He doesn't win very often, but I thought he was, a good bet to finish 2nd or 3rd. So I'll go Fortescue over Smarty Wild. 10s and 14s at the moment. That'd be a nice forecast.
Yeah, very nice one. And I'm so pleased you're going with Fortescue, though, as the main play, because he is my play in here as well as one of the youngest horses in the race, even being the age of 11 as well, because of all of the reasons I spoke about previously. But he is such a great horse, for all that he is ever so frustrating because he just doesn't win. His last success came in February 2022, but he's so consistent, likely to run his race, and could well find that bit extra in this division with his 3 starts so far in veterans races. Finished 2nd on all 3 of those starts, and already, therefore, he's got a good record in veterans races. Hopefully he'll be able to show that in the finale at 10 to 1. Dave, you're going to join us at the Fortescue party?
No, but that's why I do like this show, especially doing it with you two guys, because it's the confirmation bias I get on my notes. The one I'll talk about is not the ones that Andrew's mentioned, but Fortescue and Smarty Wild, I wanted to give a nudge to anyway, so I won't do too much of that because Andrew already has done. With Smarty Wild as well, it was near 700 days that he'd had his layoff, wasn't it, for that comeback run? And the qualification criteria for this is you just have to have started in a race. So the fact that he's pulled up, it's not even like you've got to qualify in the top positions to get in there. They've run him off of a 700-day break to get him qualified for this race, surely with the mind that they're going to try and target this. So like he's 14 to 1 top price at the time of recording. Any market support for them, and I think they're going to have a good day, but not necessarily with this horse. It could be significant. So hopefully it's a good day for the Hobson Whites. The one that I did like, and I know what Andrew's saying about the history with where the horses have run last time out and stuff, but I feel like they're putting more veterans races on now, aren't they? They're making a bigger series of it. So I'm hoping that it's not going to be a problem for Eldorado Allen, who looked like he loved the game again back at Cheltenham. Now, I was watching the race like most people would do. I was watching the race for the ones that were fighting at the front. I fancied Numator that day, but I was put off with the track. But obviously got the job done at the trip. Perfect distance for that horse. Copperhead rallied and did quite well to finish where he finished, but he's been doing his win at the start of the season. But Eldorado Allen was like 10 lengths behind these as they turned in, being scrubbed along a little bit. And it was one of those parts in the race where you look at it and just think, oh, he's just gone at the game now. He's just going to give up. But he didn't. And off the back of the last, him and Dashwood Brasher had each other's backs for company. They pushed their way up. It was about four lengths, I think, behind his stablemate Copperhead that day. There's a £3 swing between them two, but Freddie Gingle takes the £3, so that sort of negates that. But I just thought Eldorado Allen, he's not a 2.5 miler. He wants this sort of trip. He had that first run at Aintree behind Torn and Frayed, or no, it wasn't Aintree, it was somewhere else, but he ran behind Torn and Frayed when Torn and Frayed was just jumped really well and just absolutely battered him. I think Eldorado Allen has been progressive in those last 2 starts, looks a bit more like his old self. So while it is a veterans race and I'd never get too excited about it, I thought 9 to 2 about him when there's 3 places up for grabs looked very tempting, because some of those other horses we're talking about, like a Fortescue, who's definitely got a chance in here, puts me off. They haven't won in so many years, but then you get a horse like Eldorado Allen that hasn't won for such a long period of time. I just thought he ran well last time and looked a bit more like his old self. So I'll take a chance on Eldorado Allen, but it'll be a small chance.
9 to 2 shot in here for the 11-year-old. So again, one of the youngest horses in the race. It feels so weird to say, doesn't it? But yeah, Eldorado Allen, we know all of the back class he has. Right, back down to Wincanton again now for the 3:15. This is a 0 to 125 handicap hurdle, 4-year-olds and over 2 mile 5. Now 5 to 2 at the field. Nicky Henderson, James Bowen teaming up in this one, but plenty enough runners for you to go at, Dave.
Yeah, Gift of Joy, Kado to Joy is actually translated to. I searched it earlier because I wanted to see if I could get any puns in, but I couldn't, so I just said it out loud. But James Bowen's ridden this horse the last twice and getting a decent tune out of the horse. The first time he won, I think, was at 2 miles. Just ground it out. They were well clear of the third, but like just ground it out and just got up on top. So it looked like a nicely timed ride with a horse that they're hopefully going to be progressive with this season. Stepped him up to 2 miles 3.5 last time. similar-ish style, wasn't whipping or anything like that. It was just all hands and heels, knew he was going to get there. He did cut across the horse that was in second, can't remember the name of it, but he cut across the horse on the rail just to really sure up and make sure that he wasn't going to get rallied back. But again, looked like comfortable on top. And again, if they're stepping up another couple of furlongs, I think it will probably suit. So does look the type of horse that could go for a bit of a sequence, but he's going to reach a point at some point very soon where the handicapper has got him in his grips. It could be about now. My frustration in this race is that Authentic Legacy that ran at Sandown last time looked like he was going to absolutely hack up, and then from 2 out, and pretty much after they jumped the last as well, just sort of was lifting his head up, didn't look like he was going to do everything that he should be doing. Keelan was just riding him then. I watched back his previous races as well. He was doing a similar thing. As soon as push came to shove and they asked him for an effort, he was just pretty much saying no, and he hasn't got very many wins. I think like he's just a horse that probably is a little bit of a rogue. They've put cheek pieces on him, which probably could help, but they've also thrown him up 5.5 furlongs. So the reason I bring that up is I think Authentic Legacy, if he was actually authentic, which is ironic in his name, isn't it? I think he would absolutely hack up off of his handicap mark. But you get this often with horses, that sometimes the reason they're lowly handicapped is because they don't want to fulfill their promise. And the Gary Moore stats with chucking cheek pieces on, I did look at the stats, but you know, when he was doing it with Goshen and things like that, like it just doesn't necessarily work. And the fact that he's putting cheek pieces on and throwing up in chip, it looks a little bit desperate. But I thought he was the best horse in the race. But I do think on Saturday, Kado de Joie is just going to get another win. So I'll side with the favourite. But I think Authentic Legacy could be a special horse. If the cheek pieces work, and I'm happy to be wrong.
If the cheek pieces work, 7-2 then about the second favourite, Kado de Joie, Gift of Joy. Sorry, by the way, cat's tail is like perfectly envisioned. 5-2. Do you know what she's doing? So I've had a peppermint tea and I left the tea bag in it because, like, I don't know, I'm cheap, to be honest, and I feel like I'm getting my money's worth if I'm like leaving it in there. She's jabbing away at like just the tea bag that is left in the empty mug right now. So I don't know. Anyway, she's entertaining herself, but you are entertaining us over your selections there at Wincanton. Andrew, do you concur or are you looking elsewhere?
I'm looking elsewhere. I'm going with the trusty Harry Derham first run for the yard in a handicap system with 9th Loch, ridden by Victoria Malzard, owned by the Jersey Racing Friends, as was Diplomati, who probably should have won on stable debut at Silver, got beaten 3/4 of a length at 11-1, and then won well backed at Wincanton next time out. Now, since he's been training, Harry Derham's had 32 runners make their debut for the yard straight in a handicap. 16 of the 32 won, profit of £42.60, well above the expected number of winners, which would have been about half that based on their prices. And so 9th Loch had a bit of an interesting career. He started life with Willie Mullins, won a bumper on his second start. He actually ended up in a maiden hurdle against the Wall Park, who's now rated 152 after catching the eye behind Crambo when 4th in the long walk hurdle the other day. Got beaten 3/4 of a length by that one. Got sold only about 23 grand, I think it was 25 grand. Went to France, won 3 times for Noel George and Amanda Zetterholm. Back back in Britain, back outside of France, and no details of this, how much this is sold for on the Racing Post website, but probably more than he went to France for after those 3 wins, including last time out. And I think he's going to go under the radar because of who's riding, but I'll quite have to take the chance at a double figure price on 9th Loch.
Nice, yeah, a horse that's definitely done the merry-go-round, hasn't he? Then, yeah, 9th Loch then at 10-1 for Harry Derham. Right, back to Sandown for our final scheduled race, the 3:35. Another qualifier. This is a handicap hurdle. This is a 0-140 contest, 4-year-olds and over 2 miles. 3-1 the field in this one. Really likable race, really competitive. Any number of these could win this, Andrew, I thought, on paper. So who did you come down on the side of?
Yeah, 2 I liked. One's gone weak in the betting since the declarations were confirmed. 5's out to 10. That's the top weight of Ridney Mill. And the other one's 20s into 12s, which is Spirits Bay for Twiston Davis. Spirits Bay caught the eye when 5th at Cheltenham on his comeback with 25-1 behind Mirabad. Hasn't got a particularly good record left-handed. Record this way round, 1st, 2nd, 1st. The defeat over course distance in a maiden hurdle by a Henderson odds-on favourite, albeit not a particularly good one. And Aurigny Mill came out of the Ocken Risk race at Ascot, finishing 6th of 27 last time out. That was on the 22nd of November. That race has worked out well. Alnalam, the runner-up in that race, was a winner the other day. Break My Soul's come out of that. You go through it, there's plenty of horses who've run or won well. I think the race was running a quick time, so I'll split stakes between the pair. But if you want just one from me, I'll go Spirits Bay because of that persuasive right-handed record.
Yes, because of that record, but Spirits Bay is at 12 and Aureni Mill, who has been pushed out to 10 to 1. So two horses that have got the opposite direction in the market here. But Dave, yeah, this market is all over the shop at present, and hopefully it'll settle down at some point.
Oh, it definitely will. It's already started to settle down. I'll just go back away. I like to talk about stuff other than my selection, don't I? But Spirits Bay, that Andrews touched on, I did quite like that horse as well. I agree with Andrew that it was pretty eye-catching at Cheltenham, because that Mirabad stole the race from the front. But I say was entitled to do so. He was well handicapped enough that wasn't the reason he won the race. He was just quite a good horse. And then the not very good Henderson horse he was behind was South of the Border, who did flop in a maiden hurdle. I think at Kempton was it, after running in the was it the Dovecote? Ran in a good race anyway, was a shortish price favourite, but that was when Henderson horses weren't running well. Haven't seen him since. So I think he's run behind an all right Henderson horse, albeit he's got Segina in the yard, so it's not as good as that. Honky Tonk Highway, I need to mention her because I think that this is one that I want. I'm staggered that the mark of 119 sat there and put this horse in as favourite. I know it's Dan and Harry Skelton, and she like 2 from 2 at the track, and they are both listed wins. But the actual depth of the form just looks bad. So I wanted to say that because, again, I'm happy to put my neck on the line that I don't think this horse has got any chance of winning the race and is completely and utterly the wrong favourite. So crop that when she goes and wins. But the one that I did like opened at 9 to 1 when they reformed this market. It's as big as 5 to 1 at the time of recording, but there's no way it'll be that price by the time we put this out later today. And it's Oh My Johnny for the detectives, because they have been doing a bit of work with this horse. So this is like, it's a nice handicap hurdle. Like you say, it's a series qualifier. We've had a couple of 5-year-olds that have won this in the past on handicap debut. We've had Guard Your Dreams, obviously quite a good horse, and Monsieur Lecoq, quite a good horse as well. So I think this Olma Johnny is going to be quite a good horse. Now, he's part of Richard Johnson's like racing syndicates, and obviously he sent one to Philip Hobbs. I reckon they've got a pretty good animal here, and they've had him hidden quite nicely. Now, first time when he ran, looked proper first day at school type stuff. Bit novice-y, but then started to make mistakes, was jumping right, doing all sorts. Then next time out, run and was definitely going to win. I mean, you can only say definitely in certain senses, can't you? But was in front, I think was going to win the race. Jumped the last and then came down after jumping the last. So it was a bit of a strange fall, but I think would have won that race. The horses that did end up finishing first and second in there have both come out since, and they've both won really well. They're both rated in the mid 120s now. And then Oh My Johnny himself came out after and then bolted up. But he was odds on like he should have done. But he bolted up with ears pricked, still looking a little bit green in front. But they've done all of that, I think, with a view to getting him handicapped. And he's still going out and putting like arms and looking like a horse that's got loads in him. They've waited a little bit for this race. Like I said, the money's already starting to come for him. But I'd have this horse like a 2 to 1, 5 to 2 favourite for this race on his handicap debut. So the 5 to 1 that stood about him is still very tempting. I would be greatly surprised if Oh My Johnny wasn't good enough to be like winning this. He might need a little bit of time because he's a bit green, but I think he'll be good enough to win this. And I'd be even more staggered if he got beat by Honky Tonk Highway. There you go, viewers. You can have that.
There you go. Clip it up if it happens, or either way, clip it up if it happens or doesn't happen. We like bold calls, and it takes a lot, doesn't it, for people to put their neck on the line in this game. So we like that a lot then from Dave. Honky Tonk Highway, the wrong favourite at 3s. Oh My Johnny, 5 to 1, a decent price as well. Thank you. We should back for more. Right, and just in time as well, because that is the final scheduled race on our billing. So Dave, I'll go back to you, please. Anything from anywhere else?
No, I spent far too long on that David Maxwell 133 at Wincanton, so I've not got anything else just yet.
And the worst part is that you didn't even manage to get a bet from that race either after looking at it for that time. And it's not even on the ITV televised schedule either. So really frustrating on all fronts. Andrew, anything from anywhere else?
Yeah, Excitation. So I tipped up when he finished 3rd on his 2nd start of the season the other day. He's won 2nd or 3rd time out in each of the last 4 seasons. So it does like Sandown. So maybe that run was also needed. He ran respectably enough, but I'll take him to win the 1240 at Sandown. And the other race to keep an eye on, I've not looked at any great detail, but it's the 115 at Sandown, the seniors handicap hurdle, a veterans race for hurdlers, basically, where ideally you want to be an 8-year-old, the youngest age group, eligible to take part. So give extra credence to it. You can back all the 8-year-olds in those races and make a profit of £19.75. So look out for that at the 115.
Oh, it's a proper old boys weekend, isn't it? The seniors hurdle as well, just to throw into the mix of the veterans.
Why'd you look at me when you said old boys?
I'm looking down the barrel of the camera. If you feel targeted, That's on you at this stage. But Wincanton with the veterans chase, then Sandown with the final, and of course the seniors hurdle as well to go to war with. Right, nap time. On that note, probably quite suitable, isn't it? Really, Andrew, your nap, please.
As you know, I'm just going for a nap because I need one at my age. So very good. I'll go for 9th Loch, the Harris Derham stable switches 10 to 1 in the 3:15 at Wincanton.
The Jersey horse, ideal. Dave, your nap, please.
Oh my Johnny.
Okay, like it. Yeah, to be fair, you did just make a very good case and teed it up at the start of the show as well that you would be looking for the detective partnership horse towards the end of the show. So nicely done there. I might go Navajo Indy for the sake of this. I really like Navajo Indy. I might just clash.
What about napping Fortescue to finish second?
Yeah, and to be fair, I know that's the only thing we're napping Fortescue. 10 to 1's a fair price, but I think he will just finish second. Can I have any? I'm going to go each way now.
Well, one of the firms are 9 to 1, 4 places. So
yeah, who am I asking? Sorry, Andrew.
Yeah, I guess in terms of an each way bet, that's probably fairly solid.
Yeah, is it? Yeah, exactly. Solid. Second in all 3 of his veteran handicap chases so far. So hopefully he can go very close again. Who am I asking for permission? It's my show. So, well, I present it. So I'm going to do what I want. Each way nap it is then with Fortescue. Right. That is everything from us on this week's show. The first of 2025 as well. So a big thank you to the lads for all of their hard work and insight. A big thank you to you for watching. Best of luck with your bets this weekend. And hopefully we can get the year off to a flyer.